focused on what she's eating. So we're making this a positive experience by adding food to that experience. And once she's done eating, the hood will go back on. Now the hood controls the bird's vision. It fits that bird comfortably and perfectly. It's made out of lightweight leather. It's like a fancy hat, but we call it a hood because it blocks the bird's vision. That's its only purpose. Now that's very important because, as I said, if she became frightened, if we were standing out here and she became frightened, it could be one of you, it could be a fast movement, it could be colors, a flag blowing in the wind. So anything that bird doesn't understand, now she's going to become stressed. If she becomes stressed, we're in a negative experience. Now I can't necessarily make that thing go away. I can't ask a guy to leave because he's wearing a colorful shirt. And I can't explain to the bird that there's nothing to fear, that you're just here to learn, period. What I do is put the hood on the bird's head, and instantly that thought leaves her mind. Out of sight, out of mind for a bird of prey. They're a very visually oriented creature. Their vision is 8 to 10 times more powerful than ours. It's often called binocular vision for that reason. They can spot prey far away. Everything about the bird helps it survive in some way. Every detail helps it survive and do its job out there. The powerful feet and sharp claws called talons for catching and killing the prey. The sharp beak, like a pair of meat-cutting scissors or shears for tearing that meat apart. Our next bird is going to be a Harris hawk. Now, Harris hawks are found in the southwestern United States. A little smaller, faster, more maneuverable bird than a redtail. Now, one of the things about the hawk is when you see this bird flying around, some of the things they have in common are broad, rounded wings. Now, the shape of the bird will tell you where it lives and how it survives. And what I mean by that is broad, rounded winged birds are for soaring high in the sky because of the surface area. They catch warm air, thermal, and breathe, and they can soar and glide and conserve energy. It's also for maneuverability when they're working in the forest. Chasing prey that might be running or flying in the forest, they have to be very maneuverable. You'll notice that Harris hawk has a long tail. The longer the tail on a bird, the quicker it can move and steer left to right and up and down because that's their steering aid. That's how they steer in flight. Now what we're going to do is I want to show you two things here. When it's time, my wife is going to release the Harris hawk, and he's going to go up and find a perch. Now, he doesn't normally perch on light poles, but that's what we have, so he'll make use of that. And this is basically what we do as a daily exercise for the bird. I want it to be fit. All the birds need to be fit. They're athletes. In the wild, 70 to 80% of all young birds of prey that leave the nest every year die of starvation or in some form of an accident. Only the best of the best are selected by the Creator to pass along their genes into the breeding populations to make those species stronger as a whole. So, I want my birds to have all those abilities. I want them to have speed and strength and endurance that comes through work. And just like an athlete, they need practice, they need to work out, they need good food, good rest. So she's going to let him go up on top of a pole, and we're going to take a little walk around, and I'm going to encourage the bird to follow me. I always want to teach the bird that we are a team, we are partners, we are working for the same goal. I am working for him, he is working for me, for success. Now keep in mind, not just the exercise that we're doing here applies to this bird in captivity, but this is the same thing that a hawk does in the wild. They tend to move from place to place. Out here in this beautiful countryside, you may see a red-tailed hawk sitting up on the top of a power pole or off in the middle of a field in a dead tree. That's all they're doing, hunting from above, holding still, not trying to attract attention, scanning in all directions on the ground for the movement of the prey, swooping down and catching it. So you're seeing a reflection of how a wild bird hunts and how we give them exercise in captivity. So, once the bird is up there and we're walking around a little bit and he's following me around, we're going to use a tool called a lure. We're going to encourage the bird to chase the lure for exercise. So the lure for this particular bird is a rabbit lure. Now remember, I want to be able to encourage the bird to catch certain things, not just anything. And we focus on rabbits because it's a big animal for the hawk to catch and it provides a lot of food. So the rabbit lure is just a piece of fur sewn together nice and soft. I put something good to eat on it, I hide it in my bag. The bird follows me around. When the time is right, I throw it on the ground, drag it across the ground. His job is to swoop down and catch the running rabbit. And I can make it difficult. I can make it challenging. When he swoops down to catch it, I'll pull it away and hide it in my bag and make him chase it over and over again until he's exhausted. A workout. And then he gets a big meal to replace all that energy and he builds muscle. But guess what? I I get to do that every day. So I'm not going to be the rabbit today. Matthias is going to be the rabbit. And I'm quite sure he's faster than I am anyway. So we're going to test his speed and running ability. So what I'm going to do is put something good to eat on the lure. Now I'm using some chicken today. They get a variety of food. They have to eat raw natural food, whole foods. So some days they get young chickens, farm-raised quail, rodents. It depends. Today is chicken day. So I want to put a little bit on here because keep in mind when the birds do these exercises, no matter how simple they may be, they're not doing this for fun, they're doing it for food. They expect to be rewarded. And that is also a reflection of nature. Because they don't just fly around killing things for fun and entertainment. They do it to survive. They're just doing the job, trying to stay alive themselves, survival. Okay, Matthias, let's take a little walk over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to hide the lure somewhere where the bird can't see it. We want to create the element of surprise, because when we're hunting for real, we never know when a rabbit is going to take off out from under a bush at top speed, and it will be gone in 1.5 seconds, and that bird will have had no chance to catch it. So it's important that the bird stays with us, pays close attention, and is chasing that rabbit the second it's seen. So we're going to hide the rabbit, and I think it doesn't really matter where we put it, as long as the bird can't see it. This is just fine. We'll hide it under here. Okay, so my wife is releasing the Harrisock, and I'm going to take a moment because I want that bird to have a look around and figure out what we're up to and what we're doing. A lot going on here today, obviously. So, we're going to give him a second. I'm going to take a little walk around and have him bounce around a little bit and get a little exercise. And also I want to explain to you how this is going to work, because you guys are going to participate in this as well if you like. But there are a couple of certain commands that the bird knows, very simple commands that I use. One is up, I yell, up, move up. But the most important command of all is actually the bird's name. Now, we don't use his name in a social way when we talk to one another. I don't just call the bird's name every time I walk by him. If I did that, he'd start to ignore me. It wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't have any importance. The reason he focuses on his name is because I only use it when it's time to catch the lure. So every time he hears it, he's immediately looking for that running rabbit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you his name. And when I raise my right hand over my head, I want everybody to scream that bird's name one time as loudly as you possibly can. Everybody got that? Does everybody got that? Excellent. You'd be surprised. I know you think I'm crazy and that bird has no idea what we're up to, but when he hears his name, he gets charged up. His name is Rick. Let's see where he's going. Yeah, swallows. Those swallows are the little dive bombs. Go after them birds. They harass birds of prey all day long. And now you wonder why they're brave enough to do that, because they're driving him away, and that's actually exactly what they're trying to do. They're like insects to him. He just wants to be left alone. He can't chase them, he can't catch them, he's not fast enough, he's not maneuverable enough. He knows that. So now that they have just ruined everything by pushing him over there, I've got to walk over there a little bit and call him back in this direction to get him back in the game. Because those little swallows, I was here actually last evening, and we flew both of the birds, and those swallows were dive bombing. They're doing their job, they're being territorial. Ha, 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 And I don't care where he lands, I just want him to be able to see us. If he's on the other side of that roof, he's not going to respond in the same way. Remember, the visually oriented creatures, he'll hear his name, but he needs to be able to see the running rabbit to go after it. So I'd really like to at least see him come up to the peak of the roof. There we go. All right, back where he was. Okay, before the swallows interfere again, here we go. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Go. Go. My rabbit is on delay. My rabbit is on delay. Fine, good score. Okay. That was cool. Come on, sound system. There we go. Now that the bird caught the lure, he eats the reward on the lure. He also naturally takes a position to protect his food. He spreads his wings and his tail because he doesn't want anyone to see what he has. Just protecting his meal. So, Matthias, you're going to come right over here, and you're very simply going to hold that glove up just like that. Call his name. Rip. Rip. Take a step forward. Bend down a little bit. Encourage. There you go. You just got to hold that hand level. He don't want you. He wants that chicken. Come on over here. Got to give Matthias credit. This is his first lesson here, and he's in front of an audience. This is a high-pressure situation. Bend down. Bend down. Rip. Rip. And really, I'm asking him to hop up to a perfect stranger's blow. Get a little closer. I'm going to take the lure. I'm going to take the lure. Level your hands, level your hands, level your hands. Right there you go.